All right, let's talk about selling on Amazon. I know, you've heard it a million times. You've probably even thought about it yourself. But there's always that little voice in your head, right? The one that says, you're too late, the gold rush is over. Well, what if I told you that voice is wrong? What if the rules of the game have totally flipped? Today, we're going to dive into the brand new 2026 playbook for Amazon FBA. And trust me, it's a whole different ballgame.
So let's just tackle the elephant in the room head on, shall we? This is the big one, the question that probably stops 99% of people dead in their tracks. Is the Amazon marketplace just full? Is it so saturated that there's no room left for someone new? Are you actually too late to the party to build something real and successful? Well, according to the playbook we're digging into today, the answer is a resounding no. Actually, the argument is even bolder than that. The claim is that 2026 might just be one of the best times to jump in. And it's all because those old rules that everyone used to follow, they just don't work anymore. And that opens up a huge opportunity. Let's get into why. Okay, so here's what we've got on tap. We're going to cover the big FBA opportunity for 2026, look at 4 different ways you can sell, reveal the S-tier strategy that's winning right now, give you a product launch blueprint, and wrap it all up with 3 keys to making it work.
All right, first up, the 2026 FBA opportunity. So what's really changed? What makes this year so different? Well, the whole landscape has shifted, and it's thanks to 2 massive game changers that are opening up doors for sellers who are paying attention.
And here they are. First, you've got something called the TikTok Flywheel effect. Think about it. You use viral, short-form videos on TikTok to drive a massive wave of early customers over to your brand new Amazon product. This kickstarts your sales, and, this is the really important part, your reviews. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. And second, AI-powered automation. We're talking about incredible new tools that can sift through mountains of market data in minutes, spotting profitable product ideas that would have taken you weeks, maybe even months to find by hand. And hey, just in case you're new to this, let's do a quick level set on what Amazon FBA even is. FBA just means Fulfilled by Amazon. In a nutshell, you're the one who finds or creates the product, you ship a big box of it to an Amazon warehouse, and that's it. Amazon takes over from there. They handle all the nitty-gritty, the storage, the packing, the super-fast prime shipping, even the customer service. This is the magic key, right? This is what lets you build a real business without having to turn your garage into a warehouse full of boxes.
Okay, let's get into the meat of it, the 4 ways to actually sell on Amazon. And listen, this part is so important. Picking the right business model from day one is absolutely critical, because in 2026, they are not all created equal. In fact, some of them are just a really fast way to lose a lot of money.
First up, we have Method 1, Retail Arbitrage. This is probably the one you've seen on YouTube. It's the most basic model out there. You literally go to a store like Walmart or Target, scan the clearance aisle, find a product that's selling for way more on Amazon, buy it, and flip it for a profit. It's pure, simple supply and demand.
Now, the pros and cons here are pretty obvious, right? On the plus side, it's super cheap to get started, and it's a great way to just learn the basics of how Amazon works. But here's the thing. Because it's so easy to start, everybody's doing it. The competition is just insane, so it's incredibly difficult to scale up. At the end of the day, you're building a side hustle, not a real, long-term business asset.
All right, next up is Method 2, Wholesale. This is kind of like the next level up from Retail Arbitrage. Instead of scanning clearance aisles, you're going directly to established brands or distributors, buying their products in bulk for a wholesale discount, and then reselling them one by one on Amazon. But yeah, check out the grade this gets. A C-. A C-. Why so low? Well, you've still got that crazy high competition. But now you've got a new, massive risk that can literally kill your business overnight. The brand you're buying from could wake up one morning and decide, hey, why don't we just sell on Amazon ourselves? And just like that, they cut you out, become your competitor, and your entire business model just goes poof.
Okay, Method 3, Private Label. Now, for years and years, this was the king. This was the strategy everyone was talking about. The idea is simple. You go on a site like Alibaba, find a generic product, like a water bottle or a garlic press, and then you work with the manufacturer to put your own brand, your own logo on it. Suddenly, it's your unique product. So here's the critical update for 2026. While the general idea of creating your own brand is still solid, it gets a B grade. The old way of doing it, just finding some generic product and slapping your logo on it, that model is, and I'm quoting here, practically dead. The market's just too crowded and too smart for that now. It's just not enough anymore.
Which brings us to the top of the food chain. If those old strategies are dying out, what's taking their place? This is where we get into the S-tier strategy. We're talking about the absolute best-in-class model for building a truly valuable, sellable brand in 2026.
And it's really two core ideas that work together: niche branding and what's called passion product creation. See, these aren't just methods, they're more like a whole new philosophy. You stop thinking about what generic product can I sell, and you start thinking, what perfect product can I create for a very specific group of people? This is how you build a real brand, a real asset.
Let me give you a perfect example of what niche branding looks like. Let's say you want to sell creatine. Well, good luck. That market is brutal, full of huge established brands. But what if, instead of just selling creatine, you sold creatine for women? All of a sudden, you're not competing with everyone anymore. You're creating the perfect tailored solution for a specific, often overlooked group. For that customer, you're not just an option, you're the obvious choice.
And you might be thinking, okay, that sounds nice, but does it actually work? Well, how about this? The source for this playbook used this exact strategy to launch a niche brand of keto-friendly electrolytes. Their sales in the last year? Over $700,000, all from one product. Why? Because they found a super specific group of people, the keto community, and made the perfect product just for them, a product the big guys were totally ignoring.
Now, the other half of this S-tier strategy is passion product creation. And honestly, this is just brilliant. The idea is to stop guessing and start listening. You use Amazon's own search bar like a crystal ball. You find out what people are typing in, what they're desperately looking for but can't find, and then you simply create the obvious product that they were searching for all along. The demand is already there. You're not creating it, you're just fulfilling it.
Okay, so the strategy makes sense, but strategy is useless without execution, right? So how do you actually do it? Let's walk through a quick 6-step blueprint to take you from, hey, that's a cool idea, all the way to a live product making sales on Amazon.
It really boils down to these 6 steps. First, you got to set up your Amazon seller account. Just get the boring stuff out of the way. Step 2 is the fun part, that deep dive niche product research using the strategies we just talked about. 3, you find a manufacturer to actually make your thing. 4, you create your brand, your logo, your packaging. 5, you build out your Amazon listing to be as persuasive as possible. And finally, step 6, you ship all your products to an Amazon warehouse and get ready to go live. All right, let's bring it all home. If you forget everything else, remember these 3 things. According to this playbook, these are the absolute non-negotiables, the things you have to get right to win in 2026.
Okay, here we go. Key number 1, you have to leverage the TikTok flywheel. Use TikTok not just for fun, but as a tool to drive an extra 10 to 15% in sales and reviews right when you need it most, at lunch. Key number 2, find a mentor. Seriously, the data from the source is just staggering on this. They say sellers who have a coach are 25 times more likely to succeed. That's not a small difference. And key number 3, it's the simplest and maybe the hardest one of all. Just start. Start today. Don't wait for the perfect product or the perfect time. Momentum is your best friend.
And that's the new playbook. The big takeaway here is that the game has changed. It's no longer about selling generic stuff to everyone. It's about creating very specific solutions for passionate communities. The opportunity has gotten smaller, and in doing so, it's gotten so much bigger. So I'll leave you with this question. What untapped niche, what passionate group of people is out there right now searching Amazon for something that doesn't exist, waiting for you to create their obvious product?